That's what Tom Izzo said. He's been around. The greatest winners, he said, in his life have been Muhammad Ali and Magic Johnson. And the third guy on that list for Tom Izzo is Draymond Green, who he called the smartest player he's ever coached. That's a fascinating guy.
A lot of the greats have that, right? That insatiable need to win, whether it's kick the can or in an actual game. They always want to win.
Exactly, exactly.
You can catch the profile of Draymond Green, 9 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. Tom Rinaldi, thank you much. Elle Duncan, let's get you some water.
She's choked up over it. I'm with you. Still ahead on. You do your boxing motion?
What? I got an iPad in my hand and I almost fell.
That is fantastic.
Why don't go iPad?
It's time to talk about Matt Berry's favorite part of the show. That's always mascot. So you guys know Mr. Met was fired because he flipped the bird.
Aware.
He is forfeit.
You know it's a blowout when?
When...
Turn off the TV and go to bed?
Yeah, when I was able to go to bed and have absolutely no FOMO.
Yeah.
You guys are good at this game. It also means we start finding celebrities in the crowd. This time it was Rihanna.
Giveaway.
Coach, that for LeBron, maybe he's expending a lot of energy trying to defend KD, and it didn't really matter anyway. How would you approach that matchup?
Over-analysis.
Far out, there's all that space. 9 of his first 10 shots were at the rim.
Too many options, and again, part of the problem also is if they don't like the matchup, they just run a pick and roll. Cleveland switches so much, they end up with the matchup fits.
Exactly. So one of the things that we talked about after listening to Tyronn Lue say, when they asked what went wrong, they're the greatest team I've ever seen. Greatest team that I've ever seen. What's the solution here? Because it can't just be, okay, well, they don't have...
Can you please take this one?
Give us something.
Well, let me first say, I was surprised. I'm looking at the 7 box scores from last year. Game said than done.
Right, I know we talked about it on radio. One of the things that knocks Kyrie is his defensive effort. Was that peak bad Kyrie last night? Is this his biggest problem now?
Well, it's a brutal team to defend. We know that to begin with. I never quite, but then it's just the concept of pick a guy. Just pick a guy, and he lost guys at times there. So it's frustrating.
But in fairness, he wasn't the Lone Ranger. There were a lot of guys.
No,
there were a lot of guys.
That's not the. I mean, turnovers.
Others, I would imagine. Our NFL insider Dan Graziano, our analyst Darren Woodson here with us. Tell me about the deal. Is this uncommon? Do you usually see this many incentives thrown into a deal?
Well, I think when you look at a player like this who's had a year.
What is it like for the player when you know, hey, I get another few yards here, and if I score this touchdown, that's cha-ching. I'm getting, he's got to follow this pretty closely to figure out what he's making.
Absolutely, and that's his agent's job as well. I think it's involved.
What kind of incentives do safeties get in deals?
Oh, yeah.
You get anything?
Yeah.
Interceptions. I think that's a big one for safeties, games.
Switch gears. Let's talk about Matt Ryan in response to whether he's still watching Super Bowl tape.
It's hard to repeat and get back there because you have to forgive what took place in the past and move forward.
You said you never watched the tape of that 94 NFC Championship game. Dan Quinn has watched the tape of that Super Bowl. He said double-digit times. He's watched it over and over and over again, trying to process it. It's part of a process, Tony. You got to get it out. Flush it out of the system. Atlanta currently 16-1 odds to win this upcoming Super Bowl. Thanks, guys. The decision to make on our top 5 today. Do we either go with the Rihanna situation with all that was entailed with Kevin Durant and all that, or do we go with Durant's number 35, greatest 35s in sports history?
And we luckily went with the second one.
For all of us.
Or we 4 in a row?
Did you sweep me this week? Did you win the last 4?
I was totally
yes,
the
I've been
Padres.
told. Yes, they've been
David, I
Cubs and the
promise
Padres.
next time I'm on here, I'm going to pick you. I promise next time I'm going to pick you, no matter what.
I
The
don't
fix
want
will be
any,
in, I
no,
promise.
I don't want any preconceived notions. You judge it as you see it, George. I honor your decision. All right.
George, before we let you go, though, I do want to get your take on this. Chris Paul has a player option for next season.